A warm welcome to the 2026 Scottish Women's Institute AGM. My name is Mary Barney and I'm the National President of the SWI. It's my pleasure to welcome everyone joining us online today. We have a busy programme this morning and we're ably assisted by our volunteer members, Maz and Kath, who are helping to facilitate today's event. Members of the Board of Trustees are in attendance, and we have members discussing their volunteering experiences with us later. The meeting is being conducted online to allow as many members from all areas in Scotland as possible to participate. Before the meeting begins, we ask that everyone is on mute to minimise background noises. If you have any questions, these can be put in the chat function, or please raise your virtual hand using the reactions button at the bottom of your screen. This will bring you to the top of the meeting screen and you'll be invited to speak. Please remember to tell us your name and which institute you're from. Any questions that we don't get round to will be collated and published with full answers in the May members' newsletters. In the unlikely event that technology lets us down, please log back on using the same AGM link and the meeting will resume. We'll begin the AGM, as we do with any other meeting, with the Declaration of Interest. In line with trustee duties under the Charities and Trustees Investment Scotland Act 2005 and OSCR guidance, any trustee or member who has a personal or organisational interest in any item on the agenda should declare it now. This will be recorded in the minutes. Anyone declaring an interest should not take part in the discussion or decision on that item. Does anybody wish to declare anything at this point? I can't see anybody, so thank you. A short overview of this morning's AGM. Members, we have lots to get through today, and I do hope you enjoy this time that we have together. To begin with, you'll hear about our achievements from the 2025 annual report. I will be joined by our trustees who will report on 4 of our strategic priorities. Following this, we move into AGM ordinary business, where our financial statements and 2025 annual accounts will be presented by our auditor, Jacqueline White of Thomson Cooper. There will also be an opportunity to ask questions, followed by the reappointment of the auditors. We then move to the Federation annual accounts for 2025. You should already have received a quick glance copy of the fantastic work reported by federations, and based on these reports, we will officially announce the winners of the Barbara Brookshire Trophy, the Stony Creek Trophy, and the Retson Family Award. So good luck with that. Next, the Skills and Events Committee for 2025 will be presented. The outgoing Skills and Events convener will provide an overview of achievements during the year and then hand over to the new convener who will share plans for the future. We'll then move to AGM special business, the triennium 2026. You'll hear about the triennium results, followed by the ratification of board trustee and committee appointments, which were advertised to members over the past 4 months and will now be formally confirmed. Following this, we come to celebrating leadership. Past and present national presidents, which I'm much looking forward to, handing over to a newly elected national president, whom I am sure you will warmly welcome. And finally, we're thrilled to welcome back our guest speaker by popular demand, Ailsa Stephen, who will be interviewed about her experience on Game of Wool and her crafting journey by Susan Anderson. Susan is the founder of the Journal of Scottish Yarns, established in 2021 to share the stories of Scottish textiles and celebrate the heritage, people, and places she's deeply passionate about. The session will be concluded with a question and answer. We will then conclude with a vote of thanks and close of business. Minutes of the previous 2025 AGM, held on the 24th of May last year, have been circulated in the AGM papers. Is everyone happy that they are a correct record? If we're agreed, then could I ask a member of the Board of Trustees to propose the adoption of the minutes?
I propose the adoption and Chair, Ayrshire Federation.
Thank you, Anne. And a seconder, please.
I can do that. Karen Johnson.
Thank you, Cam. Now for my own President's Annual Report for 2025. I'd like to briefly reflect on our key achievements and progress highlighted in the 2025 Annual Report. The Scottish Women's Institutes continue to play an important role in communities across Scotland, bringing women together through friendship, learning, and fun. Our work is guided by our constitutional aims of building inclusive communities, advancing education and skills, promoting cultural heritage, and working with organisations that share our values. During 2025, we continued delivering the Challenge the Future Together strategic plan that took us from 2022 to 2025, focusing on strengthening membership engagement, improving organisational efficiency, ensuring financial stability, and progressing the SWI Heritage Project. I'd now like to ask some of our trustees to provide updates on the progress made across our key priorities over the past year. And the first trustee that I'm going to ask to say a few words is Claire Gregg.
I'm going to talk about organisational growth and development. In 2025, membership across the SWI remained stable, reflecting the continued dedication and loyalty of women across Scotland who remain at the heart of our organisation. While membership numbers did not grow, maintaining stability is itself a positive sign of the strength and resilience of our institutes. We were also pleased to welcome the growth of new institutes, helping to strengthen our network and maintain strong community connections across the country. A key development during the year was the launch of a new SWI website, which has significantly improved the membership journey and overall experience. The site provides a clearer and more accessible platform where members can easily find information, resources, and event details. It also enables federations to promote their activities more widely, encouraging collaboration and participation across Scotland. Our digital engagement has continued to grow. Social media audiences have expanded, with Facebook reaching more than 11,000 followers, while Instagram continues to attract new audiences through engaging content. We have also continued to develop our intergenerational initiatives, including the Junior Dippers programme, now running successfully in several federations. Partnerships with charities and community organisations have supported skills-sharing workshops and learning opportunities, strengthening SWI's role as a welcoming and inclusive community organisation. I'm now passing over to Julie Craig.
You're just on mute there, Julie.
Apologies for that.
That's okay. We can hear you now. On you go.
Right. Right, apologies for that. Right, I'd like to say a few words about our membership. Listening to and supporting our members remains central to everything we do. In early 2025, we reviewed the results of the membership survey and shared the feedback openly with members. Transparency is important to us, and we wanted members to clearly see that their voices had been heard and valued. In response to key themes identified in the survey, informative postcards were distributed to more than 400 institutes, helping to explain how membership fees support institutes, federations, and national initiatives. Another significant development was the first Federation Presidents' Assembly, which brought together presidents from across Scotland. This provided an important opportunity to discuss shared challenges, exchange ideas, and strengthen collaboration across the organisation. 2025 has also been a year of remarkable member engagement. Members contributed more than 1,200 volunteer hours to the Heritage Project, while others participated in podcasts, oral histories, and a wide range of events, such as the archiving, workshops, both in person and online. National events continued to bring members together, with around 1,900 members taking part in approximately 50 events and competitions, including the summer school, the study tour, creative workshops, online talks, and health and wellbeing sessions. These activities demonstrate the energy, skills, and commitment of our members who continue to shape and strengthen the SWI. I'd now like to hand over to May.
Good morning. Ensuring the long-term financial stability of the SWI continues to be a key priority. Throughout 2025, we maintained a careful and disciplined approach to managing costs. Staffing structures were regularly reviewed to ensure resources were used effectively. And the increased use of online meetings has helped reduce travel costs, while maintaining strong governance and communication. We have also continued to explore partnerships, internships, and external funding opportunities that support member-focused initiatives such as Junior Dippers. As a result of these measures, the organisation is now in a stronger financial position and has reduced the need to draw on investments as heavily as it has in past years. A steady and incremental review of membership fees has also played an important part in supporting the organisation's future. As costs continue to rise across all sectors, it's essential that the SWI adapts responsibly to maintain sustainability. During 2025, many operational improvements have also been introduced. Online payments for national events has improved efficiency and has reduced administration and banking costs. Encouragingly, national competitions in 2025 moved from an operational loss to achieving a break-even position, demonstrating a positive impact of careful financial planning. Alongside financial sustainability, we continue to integrate environmental responsibility by reducing printing and postage through increase of use of digital communication. I would like to pass over now to Susie. Thank you.
Thank you, May. I'd like to say a few words today about the Heritage Project and the way forward for it. So the SWI Heritage Project, funded by the National Lottery Heritage Fund, continues to make excellent progress and reach an important milestone during 2025. Significant advances have been made in digitising archive materials, decades of foreign country magazines, cookery books, and historic records. This work is helping to create a more accessible archive for members, researchers, and future generations. Volunteer engagement has been one of the project's greatest strengths. Around 60 members have been trained as volunteer historians, with many supporting archive cataloguing, both on-site and remotely. A new remote volunteering strand, which was launched during the year, has enabled members from across Scotland to contribute to the project from their own homes. The oral history programme has also made excellent progress, capturing personal stories and experiences from members across Scotland and preserving them for the future. SWI Heritage has been widely shared through podcasts, presentations and events, helping to raise awareness of our history and the important role that the SWI has played in communities for over a century. The Heritage Project is a powerful example of members working together to celebrate our past while creating a valuable resource for future generations. Although we were unsuccessful in our funding application to the Crichton Trust, we have not let that deter us. Instead, we have continued to explore new opportunities to secure a home or homes for our heritage collection. We have developed encouraging partnerships with the Glasgow School of Art, Museums Scotland, and the National Library of Scotland. These collaborations not only help to raise our profile, but also open exciting opportunities to use our rich history to support a sustainable future for the SWI. Together, these steps demonstrate our commitment to preserving our heritage while ensuring it continues to inspire and benefit generations to come. I'd now like to pass back to Mary.
Thank you, Susie, and to the other trustees for taking part. We're now going to conclude the report and open for questions and answers. Thank you to the trustees for highlighting the key initiatives from the past and our achievements. As we've heard, 2025 has been a year of steady progress for the Scottish Women's Institutes, strengthening our organisation, supporting our members, and continuing to celebrate and preserve our heritage. These achievements are only possible because of the dedication, enthusiasm, and generosity of our members across Scotland. So if you'd like to ask a question, you can add them to the chat if you prefer not to speak today, or you can raise your virtual hand by using the reactions function at the bottom of your screen. I'm going to ask Kath and Maz to help me to manage this part. And as we have done in previous years, because of time restraints this morning, if your question hasn't been asked or answered, put it in the chat and we will answer everything in the upcoming newsletters. Is there any questions?
See any, Mary?
Sorry?
It's Kath. I can't see anybody.
That's Kath. Thank you. Maz, can you see anybody?
No, nothing on the chat.
There's nothing in the chat. Okay. So are we content to move on? That's fine. But the chat button is there, and if you think of anything as we go through the next part of the meeting, please just pop it in the chat and we'll answer it, as I said, in the upcoming newsletter. We're now going to look at the financial accounts for 2025.
Mary, can I just check? Sorry, can I interrupt a minute? Can I just check that Jacqueline's here?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
that's because we're moving on without dealing with questions.
She is,
I
yeah.
am
I was just
here,
about to send you a wee message, Mary, to let you know, so feel free to continue.
Good.
Sorry, did you say you're going to call Jacqueline's not
No,
with
no,
us?
she is here, Mary.
Oh,
On you
she
go.
is. That's fine. Thank you. I'd like to pass you to our National Treasurer, who is May Tosh, and May will lead us through the financial accounts this morning.
Good morning again. Now I'd like to introduce our Auditor Jacqueline White of Thomson Cooper, who will present the 25 annual accounts and will take questions that you may have after her presentation. So I'd like to hand over now to Jacqueline.
Thank you. I'll just share my screen. Hopefully everybody can see the financial statements on screen.
Not quite yet, Jacqueline. Doesn't look like you're sharing your screen yet with us.
Try that again.
That's it coming up for us now. There we go.
Okay, so morning everyone, and thank you for inviting me to your annual general meeting to present the findings of our audit for the year ended 31st December 2025. So as auditor, my role is to provide an independent opinion on the financial statements, ensuring that they present a true and fair view of the charity's financial activities and position. So our audit was conducted in accordance with the relevant auditing standards in the Charities SORP, and I'm pleased to report that following a detailed audit process, we issued an unqualified audit opinion when the accounts were signed on the 27th of April. And this means that we consider the financial statements to present a true and fair view of the charity's financial position and activities at the December year end. So if you let me run through a few sort of key financial highlights. So financially, it's been a relatively stable year across most income streams, with the exception of the grant income that was recognised in the SOFA in the year from the National Lottery Heritage Fund. If we look at the SOFA that I've got on screen at the moment, it's resulted in total income of £510,000 versus £429,000 last year. So that's an increase of £80,000 or 19%. The investment returns remained consistent, roughly at £106,000, and that's despite the economic uncertainty post-year end. They've still continued to grow, and that's disclosed in the final note in the accounts on page 46. So other than these movements, there continues to be an increase in income from schools, classes and conference and events. And it's increased from 84,000 to 103,000 this year. And there's a breakdown of that further through the accounts on page note 2, sorry. Expenditure, prior to the investment gains and losses, has seen an increase of £63,000 from 520,000 rising up to 583,000. From the SOFA, you'll see that the cost of raising funds has decreased. And that was largely due to the prior year containing a write-down of some slow-moving stock. And the increase centres around the charitable activities. Net gains on investment in the year have increased from 102,000 to 256,000. So that's a really good return on investments in the year. So the breakdown of the increase in charitable activities is shown in note 9, so I'll just flick to note 9. So we've got the breakdown of charitable activities here, and again it shows the reduction in merchandise spend, which is due to that write down of stock last year that I've just mentioned. There's been additional spend on schools, classes, conferences and events, which is reflected in the increase in the income, and a reduction in spend on management and administration costs. And these were largely higher last year because of all the organisational changes that were taking place. You can then see that there's the National Lottery Heritage Fund expenditure, which matches with the income in the SOFA. So looking at note 8, which focuses around salaries, staff costs, there's been a slight decline in employee numbers, but you'll see that wage costs have actually risen. And so we did some audit work around this and confirmed that, as disclosed in the accounts, this relates to salaries that are specifically for the Heritage Project, and these were funded out of the National Lottery Heritage Fund. So if I go back to the SOFA, the financial position before gains on investments continues to be in a deficit, albeit it's reduced by £18,000 this year. And this really reflects the drive to raise income to cover costs rather than rely on investment returns. We look at the balance sheet. The largest movement within the balance sheet is obviously within the investments, and that saw an increase in the portfolio of £286,000 to £3.4 million. And a decrease in cash of £112,000 is probably the largest movement in the other direction. Excuse me a second. The decrease in creditors relates to the release of the prior year deferred income, which is the National Lottery Heritage Fund. So you'll see at the bottom here that the SKIO is carrying restricted reserves of £21,000, designated funds of £2.5 million, and unrestricted general reserves of £933,000. So the funds held are in excess of the charity's reserves policy of 3 months expenditure, which is really deemed the sort of prudent level that provides a stable foundation for future planning and resilience in uncertain times. With regards to the audit process itself, we observed a high standard of financial oversight and governance, and there were no control deficiencies identified. The financial statements have been prepared on a going concern basis, and our audit procedures in this area require us to consider management's assessment of going concern. So as part of this, we issue a going concern questionnaire, and we review the responses against our audit findings just to check that they're comparable what we'd expect. We reviewed post-year-end investment values, specifically looking to see if there was any evidence of impairment of those values. We obtained forecasts and post-year-end management accounts and bank statements just to corroborate management's assessment. And I'm pleased to say that our work in this area did not highlight any concerns, and that's reflected within our audit report being presented on a going concern basis. Overall, our audit testing only highlighted what we as auditors would deem individual trivial differences, and those are typically, apologies, I've got a cuckoo clock. We would deem individual trivial differences, which are typically less than £100. And given their immaterial value, we agreed with management not to make any adjustment for these. So in my opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of the charity's affairs as at 31st December 2025 and of its income and resources and application of resources for that year. They've been properly prepared in accordance with UK accounting practice and in accordance with the requirement of the Charity and Trustee Investment Scotland Act. And I was happy to sign off a clean audit opinion. From my point of view, I would just like to now take this opportunity to thank Diane and Jackie for their help and assistance during the process, and I'm happy to take any questions that anyone may have, and I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Jackie, for that detailed report. And I'd like now to invite anyone, if they have any questions that would like to ask Jacqueline, sorry. So has anyone got any questions they'd like to ask? We have one from Joyce Spence from Angus. How long does it take? How long does the charity lottery fund last?
So that's been fully released in the year. So there should be no balance on that at the end of the year.
Is there any further questions?
Can't see any, Mary.
No. Can you see any, Maz? Kathy?
No, nothing else on the chat.
No. Okay. So therefore, I think on behalf of the board and the staff team, I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Jacqueline, for your support during the audit. Your streamlined approach helped the whole process to run smoothly and seamlessly, and for everybody involved. So thank you very much again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So at this point, we'd like to announce the national fee increase announcement. As Jacqueline highlighted in her report, financial sustainability is important for the future of the SWI. And with that in mind, I would like to officially announce that the Board of Trustees has approved a plan to introduce a small increment to the national fee for the next 3 years. The current fee, £33, and the following that to 36, and the following year to 39. This gradual approach will help both members and organisational plan and budget more easily. It also helps to ensure the SWI can continue to run efficiently and improves opportunities for members. Of course, we cannot predict everything that may happen in the world. However, if things remain broadly as they are, we expect to implement this plan as outlined. All fees information is downloadable in the Members Resources section on the SWI website. Now I'd like to pass back to Mary.
Thank you for guiding us through that, May, and to Jacqueline from Thomson Cooper. Can I have a board trustee to approve the 2025 financial accounts, please?
Jane Hogg.
Thank you. And the seconder?
Anne Kerr.
So the next part of the agenda deals with the Federation annual reports. And it gives me great pleasure to present the SWI summary of the Federation's annual reports for 2025. Once again, our federations across Scotland have demonstrated remarkable commitment, creativity, and resilience, delivering a wide range of activities for members and their local communities. Throughout the year, federations organised shows, competitions, workshops, talks, and social events, providing opportunities for learning, friendship and fun at regional level, rural Olympics, quizzes, craft days, demonstrations, and sporting activities proved particularly popular, alongside successful federation shows which showcased the high standards and talents of our members. Many federations celebrated significant milestones, including centenary and anniversary events, while others launched new institutes or welcomed new members. These achievements highlight the continued enthusiasm and dedication within our organisation. Members also took part in national events such as Summer School, Study Tour, and the Evelyn Baxter classes, further developing skills and sharing knowledge. Community engagement remained the key focus during 2025. Federations supported local charities, volunteered within their communities, and promoted the Scottish Women's Institutes at agricultural shows, exhibitions, and local events. Collaboration between neighbouring federations also continued to grow, offering members wider opportunities to participate in shared activities. While some federations reported challenges, including declining membership and institute closures, the overall picture remains one of positivity, innovation, and determination. New initiatives, partnerships, and recruitment efforts are helping to secure a strong future. I'd like to thank all Federation committees, Institute committees, and members for their dedication throughout 2025. Your continued enthusiasm ensures that the Scottish Women's Institutes remain vibrant, welcoming, and relevant across Scotland. There's a quick glance version of the Federation annual reports in your AGM papers, or if you'd like a more detailed version, they're available to download in the Member Resources section of the SWI website. Now we move to announcing this year's trophy winners. Please note that all the following winners are based on Federation information we've received with the annual reports. The Barbara Brookshire Trophy is for the Institute with the greatest number of new members during the year. It's awarded to Largs in Ayrshire, who recruited 17 new members. So congratulations to them. The Stony Creek Trophy goes to the Institute with the second highest increase in membership. And this year, we have joint winners. Alloway in Ayrshire and Gartcairn in Dunbartonshire both recruited 13 new members each. Well done to our joint winners. The Retson Family Trophy honours the newest institute with the most members. This year, I'm delighted to say it also goes to Largs in Ayrshire, who now have 66 members. That's amazing. Well done to all the ladies of Largs and to Ayrshire Federation for supporting them. Congratulations to all the trophy winners, and many thanks to our members who helped to grow our membership. We will get the trophies to the winners as soon as we can. I'd now like to invite our outgoing Skills and Events convener, Anne Howitt, to provide an overview of the Skills and Events Committee report for 2025. Thank you, Anne.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you can all hear me now.
Yeah.
Okay. Over the past year, the Skills and Events Committee has continued to support learning, participation and community engagement across the SWI. In 2025, the committee held 6 main committee meetings online, as well as 6 subcommittee meetings and 1 in-person committee meeting in October. The committee itself includes 14 members. Across the year, we delivered around 50 events, attracting approximately 1,900 attendees. It's quite amazing when we put those numbers together. In terms of national events, we organised a number of key activities. These included national sporting competitions, such as outdoor bowling and golf, as well as national competitions in photography and writing. We also delivered a study tour to Dublin and visited Ireland's hidden heartlands. 50 members attended this outing and was helped by some members who helped to run it. In our summer school at the University of Stirling, we welcomed 114 attendees, with some new members attending, which was delightful, with evening activities, and that was organised by the members and volunteers. A significant progress this year has been the development work. The committee has continued working on the SWIFTS programme, helping create attractive learning pathways and frameworks for such areas as textiles and food technologies. We also rebranded and refreshed national competitions, including the spoken word, which replaced that name, drama, digital media, debating and writing competitions. This was to ensure that they remained engaging and relevant for members. We also looked at enhancing current competitions, updating the guidelines to host federations, and working towards competitions that are attractive to younger and newer members. Alongside this, feedback from summer school and study tours is being used to improve future events and maximise member enjoyment. Financial sustainability has also been a priority. The committee has worked to ensure that events at least break even, reviewed competition entry fees, and advised federations on budgeting for classes and ticket pricing to support sustainability. Communication remains important. The committee aligns with the national strategy, reports to the SWI AGM, and regularly shares updates through the SWI website and e-newsletter. Social and Communication remains important. The committee aligns along with the national strategy, reports to the SWI AGM, and regularly shares updates through the SWI website and newsletter, social media and federation newsletters. Looking ahead, our next steps include encouraging new committee members, maintaining financial sustainability of events, expanding SWIFT developments, securing federation-hosted events across Scotland, and exploring new activities such as workshops, beginners classes, and craft-focused events to attract new and younger members. We will also continue monitoring national competitions to ensure that they remain viable and engaging. I would just like finally to thank all the all members of this committee who are retiring. Everyone played a part in framing this new committee 3 years ago and contributed to building the structure and sharing ideas. The subcommittee gave more of their time not only to attend the meetings, but working on the SWIFT's progression and trialling the programme. Pat Cooper was instrumental in developing the framework, which is being developed for other skills. Thank you, Pat, and the subcommittee for sharing your skills and knowledge. I'd also like to thank Beth and Anna and all the staff in the office who worked and helped and guided me through many meetings, and Diane for your input and everything. I'd like to wish Mary a happy retirement and a well-earned rest. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to be part of this committee and sharing its purpose. I'd now like to hand over to Margaret. I know that the Skills and Events Committee is in good hands and wish Margaret and all the best. And thank you, Margaret, and all the committee for your friendship, help and support, especially in my absence earlier this year. Thank you all. Over to Margaret.
Good morning, ladies. Thank you, Anne. Before I start, I would like to take a moment to say a very sincere thank you to you, Anne, for your dedication and leadership over the past 3 years as our first Skills and Events Committee convener. You have played a key role in guiding the work of the committee, supporting members and helping to develop and deliver a wide range of events and opportunities for learning across the whole of the SWI. Your commitment, organisation and enthusiasm have been greatly appreciated by both the committee and the wider membership. On behalf of everyone involved in Skills and Events, I would like to thank you, Anne, for all the time, effort and energy you have given to the role, and we wish you all the very best in the future.
Thank you.
Looking ahead, so the future of the Skills and Events Committee is both positive and ambitious. Building on the strong foundations of the last triennium, the committee will continue to focus on delivering a varied and engaging programme that supports learning, creativity and participation across Scotland. Key priorities include developing the SWIFT's learning pathway, that's both for the SWI framework for textile skills and food technology skills, refreshing national competitions and expanding workshops and beginner-friendly opportunities to attract new and younger members. We will also continue to strengthen financial sustainability, encourage committee succession and work closely with federations to host events across the country. Listening to member feedback will remain central to our planning, ensuring events remain relevant, enjoyable and accessible. The committee is committed to new thinking while maintaining the values, traditions of the SWI. By working collaboratively with committee members, federations and staff, we aim to grow participation, strengthen connections and ensure a vibrant and sustainable future for skills and events. Thank you. Back to Mary.
Thank you. And thank you to Anne and to Margaret for the report and also for all the work that the Skills and Events Committee has done over the last 3 years. So we move to agenda item 7, which is the AGM special business generated by this being the triennium year 2026 to 2029. The formal ratification of the triennium results. I'll now present those results, although I think the results have been made available to members with the AGM papers, and they are also available to download from the website. The newly elected National President of the Scottish Women's Institute is Susie Finlayson from Roxburghshire Federation. The following 5 members have been appointed as board trustees for the next triennium beginning 2026 and through to 2029. Karen Harrison, who is Shetland Federation, Heather Coates, who is West Lothian Federation, Elizabeth Hay, Stirling, Clackmannanshire and West Perth Federation, Rita Storr, Rossshire and Sutherland Federation, and Anne Henderson, Dumfries Federation. The following trustees continue their current terms into the new triennium. So continuing will be Claire Gregg from Dunbartonshire Federation, Julie Cribb from Rossshire and Sutherland Federation, Sybil Stewart from Moray and Nairn Federation, and Jane Hogg from Dumfriesshire Federation. I can confirm that we now have a full board of 10 trustees who will go through the induction and training process in the coming months. The following members are appointed to serve on the National Skills and Events Committee. Margaret Dick, who is Dunbartonshire Federation and will become the new committee convener. Kay Smith from Perth and Kinross Federation, Helen Williamson from Perth and Kinross Federation, and Anne McGuckin, who is Ayrshire Federation. Finance Committee members who have been elected for the next triennium are Gwen Foster from West Lothian, Rosalind Sivayai from Selkirkshire Federation, and Elizabeth Farr from Stirling, Clackmannanshire and West Perth. I'd now like to ask someone to adopt the motion to ratify the election of the National President, the election and continuation of trustees, the appointment of Skills and Events and Finance Committee members for the 2026 to 2029 triennium as presented. I think we can take that as one motion, and if I could have someone to adopt that, please.
Julie Cribb.
And someone to second it, please.
Jane Hogg.
Thank you, Jane. Does anyone have any questions regarding the motion? If there's no questions, is there anybody that was against that motion? Have we anybody who's abstained from voting? Sorry, I should have said that we're going to move on now to asking the members to vote for the motion. And voting will be by a show of hands. So you can either put your hand up or you can use your virtual hand. So those in favour of ratifying the SWI leadership and committee appointments for the 2026 to 2029 triennium, please physically raise your hand now or raise your yellow hand. Perhaps the ladies who are monitoring the screens can take an idea of whether that's majority or not. Anybody against the motion, please put up your hand now. Those of you who have already voted, please take your hands away. Anybody against the motion?
Can't see anybody.
And have we anybody who's abstained from voting this morning?
I think the hands are still up for people that haven't managed to put them down.
Yeah.
That's fine. Do you ladies agree that it was the majority of the members who voted for?
Yes.
That's fine. So that motion then is carried. The National President, trustees, new and continuing, and committee appointments are hereby ratified for the next triennium. On behalf of the organisation, I'd like to thank all members who have agreed to serve, and we look forward to seeing them working together over the coming triennium. Thank you. That's the end of the formal business of the results for the new appointments. So I would just like to say a few words. As I come to the end of this triennium, I'd like to thank the members of the Board of Trustees that I've served with over the last 3 years for their help, support, advice, and friendship. They're a fantastic team of ladies who have strived to continue to improve and develop the SWI so we have a sustainable future. I would have been unable to fulfill my role without the organisational skills and hard work of our dedicated staff in the office at Carmichael Place. So my thanks also go to them. To all members who've welcomed me on many occasions during my term in office, I thank you for your support, friendship, and continued commitment to our wonderful organisation. It has been a privilege to serve as your National President. However, we have to move on, and leadership change is an important part of the tradition of the Scottish Women's Institutes, bringing new ideas while continuing the strong foundations we share. It now gives me pleasure to hand over the presidency to Susie Finlayson, who will serve as your national president for the coming triennium. I wish you every success, Susie, in the role. And I think there's a little clip that was prepared earlier, Blue Peter style, in handing over the presidency badges. My highlight has been the opportunity to meet so many of our faithful members. I've been privileged to cover a lot of ground in Scotland, down to England, across to Ireland, and have met all sorts of different members, from big institutes, small groups, all different in what they do, but all very welcoming and hospitable. I've really enjoyed it. Personally, it's made me tired. I've been exhausted a lot of the time with a lot of the travelling, but to me it's meant the realisation of why this organisation is important and keeping it going, and not only going but thriving for women in the future is so important. Oh, I think Susie will be great. She's such a lovely way with people. She's so cheerful, and I think that people will warm to her straight away, and that will give her the opportunity to get to know people, to meet people, and to communicate with the members really well. She's got such a nice attitude.
Gosh, to take on the role of National President, I think I have thoroughly enjoyed being a member. And it's about being able to give something back and just the opportunity to go across the country, meet people, chat to folk. We've got brilliant members and you can learn something from them all the time. So I'm looking forward to it. We've got a really good opportunity at the minute where our membership has stabilised and we've got lots of new members coming on board. We've got lots of younger women coming on board. We've got an opportunity right now to build on that. We're the biggest women's organisation in Scotland at the moment, but we can be even bigger and we can reach out to more people in more communities and offer them everything that we've got, the fun, the friendship, the learning. It's a really exciting time to be part of the SWI.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much for your dedication and leadership over the last 3 years. Thank you for your friendship. We've had a lot of laughs, including being stranded on Orkney and walking the streets. But it's been an absolute pleasure to spend time with you. And I know that you'll be there for any questions and help and advice that I need in the coming 3 years. I don't know if it came across in the video there, everybody, but we were actually quite emotional in the office that day. In fact, I think even the staff had a wee tear, and I'm doing it again today. And I know Mary said earlier on that it's hankies at the ready, folk. It is quite an emotional time. I really am honoured, absolutely honoured to accept this role of National President. I am looking forward to working with the trustees on the board, our fabulous staff team, the committees, skills and events and finance, and every single one of our members. We want to continue the friendship, learning and community spirit that makes the SWI so special. So thank you all for your support. Thank you for the wee messages and things that I've had already, and I'm really looking forward to the next 3 years. So Mary now gets to sit back and I have to take over chairing the rest of the AGM. And I'm really delighted to move on to our next agenda item, celebrating our leadership of our past and national chairman and presidents. So hopefully you can see this. This is a brand new keepsake booklet which is celebrating the remarkable women who have shaped the leadership of the SWI, past and present. Small in size, nice A5 size, it represents a rich legacy of dedication, vision, and community spirit that continues to inspire us today. It's particularly meaningful as we look ahead to our 110th anniversary next year. We've got a programme of exciting celebrations and activities already being planned, and it offers a wonderful opportunity to reflect on the journey that has brought us here and the leaders who have guided us along the way. So inside you will find our previous national leaders, along with highlights from interviews with our most recent and current leaders. Their reflections, their experiences and insights capture the passion and commitment that have helped shape the SWI into the vibrant organisation we know today. Now, each federation is going to receive a limited number of printed copies to treasure and share as they wish. The booklet will also be available to download from the SWI website, ensuring that everyone can enjoy and celebrate the important part of our history. And now, to bring some voices to life, here's a little glimpse of what these inspiring women have shared during their interviews.
Can I just check, can everyone see this okay before I start saying it? Yeah, lovely.
Suffragette movement procession in Edinburgh to mark the centenary of women getting the vote. And many members came from all over Scotland to march on that.
Started the banner project. Now, I don't know if you have seen the banners. Each institute made a little square.
In my first year, I think I was quite nervous actually. And then the second year, that was a lot more comfortable because I was beginning to meet the members. And the third year, I didn't want it to end.
Well, the whole thing meant a lot to me. And although I think the main thing that I tried to get over was, although I was national president or kindly elected as national president, I really never forgot that I was just an ordinary rural member doing the same as any other committee would do.
I always have fun at the events that we're on, and that's what I missed. You know, there was 2 years that really there weren't many face-to-face events.
During the 3 years that I've been president, I think what I've enjoyed most is that I've been privileged to meet many of the members face to face, and that's my forte. That's what I've enjoyed all the way through.
But the people that I spoke to who were like, "Oh yeah, we know about the SWI. We've heard of you guys. We know what you're doing." I'm thinking, "Oh right, I think sometimes we forget that we while we're in some respects a smaller organisation, we do still have that presence out there, and especially among other women's organisations. Thank you so much to our past national chairman and presidents. It's super to hear from you. So to Marion, Isabel, Christine, Linda, Anne and Mary, thank you so much for giving up your time. And I hope, folks, when you get the booklet and get to see it, it's a super wee read. It's all about sharing knowledge and experiences to help us create this special organisation that we have. And everybody's contribution, whether you've been a national chairman, a president, whether you've served on a committee, or as Linda so rightly said, every single one of our members has the opportunity to be part, and you're all very special. So we're now moving into the final part of our AGM, and I am absolutely delighted to hopefully welcome our guest speaker. Hi, Ailsa, you're there. So for many of you, Ailsa will be a familiar face because she's already done a wee online evening talk for us, and she's back. She's back having told us all about her experience on the Game of Wool TV programme. You all loved it so much that we just had to get her back and find out a little bit more. We have Karen Johnson, who is a member at South Queensferry Institute. And Karen is just in the process of stepping down as a board trustee, having done 6 years with us. So thank you, Karen, for stepping in. And I will hand over to you and to Ailsa.
Thank you very much. It is a surprise to be doing this. It's an absolute delight to be doing it. So, Ailsa, welcome. I've actually just been sort of working on a bit of crochet. So I'm trying a waffle stitch, something that's new to me. But nice to give it a go, and I'm sure that some of our members are working away as they're listening to this morning.
Oh, yeah, I see a few.
Everybody loved you on the evening that you did with us. So we've got some more questions for you tonight, if that's okay. So the first being, when or how did you learn to knit and crochet?
Well, before I tell you, I'd just like to thank you all very much for having me this morning, and I'm so happy to have just been here in time to see the transition over to the new president. So congrats, Susie, and best wishes, Mary. For knitting and crochet, I started knitting when I was about 5 or 6 years old. My granny taught me, but I only ever really learned to cast on, knit, cast off, and could get a little curly square that was useless. And then I got into crochet in university, but it really ramped up when I ended up on a night shift and was just on YouTube, and people on these videos were making it look so easy, so I thought I would give it a go and just very quickly became obsessed with crochet. And then that led me into sort of woolly world on the internet, and I seen what people could do with knitting and thought, well, I know the basics, maybe I could do that too. And maybe about 5 or 6 years ago I started to dabble in knitting again, and I just obsessed. As a lot of you are, I bet.
And what are your favourite things to make?
I I love knitting vintage patterns, which if you've seen Game of Wool, I was wearing jumpers quite a lot that were from decades past. And the reason I like those so much is because they give me the right combination of things that I like. A wee bit of maths, because they're typically not going to be written in my size or in a yarn that I can get these days. And also, the construction can be quite fun. A lot of the modern patterns you see follow quite similar structures, but every so often you come across a vintage pattern that just has such a wacky way of putting a jumper together that I just love. So vintage patterns are probably my favourite go-to.
Loved seeing your style on Game of Wool. The vintage feel was just fantastic, and you grew so much over that series. Another question we've got for you. Which were your favourite projects from Game of Wool and why?
Oh, I would say my favourite project was probably the hat in the final episode of Game of Wool. We were given a brief for every solo project, but this was the least restrictive one that we had. So it was basically just make a hat. It can be any colour, any style, absolutely anything as long as it was a hat. Whereas the other briefs were a bit more restrictive, like they have to have a certain picture on them or that kind of thing. So the hat was probably where you had the most freedom to do what you wanted to do with it. And group challenge, it would probably be there was a cardigan challenge that we had to do as a group, and I was paired with fellow contestant Holger, and we decided to knit our cardigan side to side rather than bottom or top, up or down, and that really made me quite happy because I'd recently seen a knitting pattern that was knit sideways, and I'd really wanted to give it a go, so this was my chance to do that, and it turned out, although there was a bit of an error on the actual finished product on the show, it turned out really nice, and I actually enjoyed knitting something chunky, which I don't normally do, but that was a good one.
I love seeing that, and I think it shows everyone that even though your work may have an error in it, you can always turn that into a positive, and that sometimes can be a feature of your work rather than have to go back and redo something. So I loved a lot of the group challenges. If there was a group challenge that you could set, what would you set for the contestants?
Whoa. I was asked this one as part of the interview process to go on to the show, and my answer for that is probably still the same. I'd like to see, similar to what there was on the show, there was a light shade challenge where each person had to make a lace panel to put round the lampshade. I sort of had a similar idea to do an umbrella, sort of triangular pieces, and everyone makes a triangular piece to put together into a big brolly. Maybe lacy, maybe different colours, maybe everyone could put their own spin on their segment, but that would be my one.
I feel like there could be a Federation SWI group project coming out of this that you might be setting up there. I don't know. And you've got a connection to SWI, I think, haven't you? Can you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. I feel like it's sort of been a bit full circle. During my talk back in January, I spoke about how during Game of Wool I lost my measuring tape and I needed it for the next challenge. So I was in a charity shop and I just seen a little measuring tape, picked it up, and it was a Scottish Rural Women's Institute one. So that's seen me through the last few challenges, and it's a wee bit symbolic because not long after, Anna reached out to get me along to do my talk earlier in the year. And as part of my talk, then I was trying to think what links I might have to the SWI, and I was struggling a bit. And my dad said, "Why are you struggling? Your grannies were part of it, my mum was part of it." And he told me that they were members. I'm not sure what branch they would have been part of, but they were from Afford in Aberdeenshire, and I know they took some kind of organisational role within the institute. So that was quite nice to learn about, and I've learned skills from other members of the SWI as well. My neighbour at my old house, she taught me how to spin, and I know that she was quite an avid member of the SWI, and that's what's drawn me to become a member myself, just that passing down of skills and sort of the community element of craft that I never had before. It's nice to meet with people who are interested in the same thing, and I know so many people in the SWI love their crafts.
Oh, they definitely do. And lovely to hear that you're a member now. And am I right in thinking that you're going to be doing a little bit of work at the Royal Highland Show?
Yes, I'm so excited to have been asked to judge part of the crafting competition at the Royal Highland Show. I believe I'll be judging the crochet part, and I'm so excited for that. My mum and dad are coming along as well. So yeah, I'm used to being judged at the Highland Show rather than being the judge. I used to take part in the Young Farmers competitions, and every so often I'd put a knitted article in. So it's nice to be the judge for a change.
Oh, it's going to be such an experience. Well, hopefully a lot of our members, if they go along, will bump into you there. If you're there on a non-judging day.
Yeah,
But
love
what are you
to.
working on at the moment?
Well, I've done a bad thing, and I recently ended up with no projects at all, and that was a dangerous vacuum. And I just started casting on here, there, and everywhere. So now I've got 9 projects on the go. I've got two things that I'm making for colleagues at the moment: a baby blanket, and my boss, his beloved bull terrier just passed away, so I'm making a little figurine of a bull terrier for him. Um, and working on a couple of jumpers and a shawl. Oh, so many. I'll definitely not be bored in this house.
Not that I've ever come to the point where you've got no projects, but it is exciting to think, "Oh, what can I do? What can I start?" And you start looking around. I'm glad you've got lots of things on the go.
Yep, need to start getting through them.
I think It's been lovely to hear from you, but what I'd like to do now is ask if anybody else has any questions that they would like to ask Ailsa. So if you want to raise your hand or pop something into the chat, I'll ask Maz and Kath if they can keep an eye out for anything coming through. Can't believe everyone's gone quiet.
Can I start off, Karen? It's Diane here, to ask Ailsa a question. I've always wondered this as well. So watching you on the Game of Wheel was amazing, and it's fantastic, and it's great for you to be involved in SWI. I'm so proud that you're doing that. But I wondered what other opportunities came out of the show for you personally. Was there anything exciting that came from it?
Thanks, Diane. I've sort of just been rolling with it since the show, and some lovely opportunities have come up, and I feel like being in Scotland has placed me quite well, given that there's a lot of knitting heritage and that kind of thing here. I recently was invited up to Lunan Bay for the Goats in Coats competition, and I was judging the little goat jumpers for that. I think there are about 300 odd entries, and thankfully they narrowed it down to 24 for me to pick the winner. But that was so cute, and certainly something I would never have had the opportunity to do before. And then just, I suppose, going to different events. Yarn festivals, meeting people. I'd never really spoken to any other knitters or crocheters before, but now I've got the confidence to go to these things, and it's not weird for me to be there. Not that it would be anyway, but just yeah, I've got another quite interesting. I seem to be doing a lot of judging, but Beamish Museum in the north of England, they have a horticultural show in September with a little craft element, so I'll be judging that as well, which will be interesting. But yeah, just rolling with it, and every door that's opened, I'm grateful for, and I guess next year it'll maybe be another knitter from Game of Wool that gets these lovely chances.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just ask a question? Yeah. Elsa, and I know that knitting's important. Is it your job? Is it your job, or do you have another career?
I have a full-time job at Calmac Ferries. I'm the assistant to the chief exec, so I'll manage his diary and correspondence from island stakeholders and that kind of thing. So, but I probably spent just about as much time knitting as my other full-time job.
Yeah, that's funny because a friend of mine, Karen, who's a member, they just moved to Lewis, and I think her husband's working for Calmac on Lewis.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Nothing in the chat.
I think one final one for myself, Ailsa. I've got a daughter, and I've tried getting her into a bit of crochet or a bit of knitting, but what would be the ideal starter project to get a young person into?
Oh, I think a good starter one for me was just making a little square, but then folding it and sewing it into a little character, and you can knit wee features for it. I think my first project was a little robin, so it was like little brown square, and then I made a wee tummy and wee eyes. So I think that was quite a good one. But a scarf, I'm reluctant to say scarf because starting it's a challenge, but then you've got just the same thing for meters, so that can make you switch off quicker. Maybe a hat would be a good one.
I'll see what I can do. I love the idea of the little robin. It's something that we can keep out every Christmas.
Yeah.
Eileen has a question.
Eileen.
You need to unmute Eileen.
Oh, Eileen, you muted and then unmuted again. That's you on mute there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if Ailsa was coming up to Shetland Wool Week?
Oh no, but that has been on my bucket list for years to go up to
Okay.
Shetland Wool
Yeah.
Week. I've
You would
also
really enjoy it. Really
I
enjoy it.
I bet I would. I'd be in my element.
Yeah.
I've wanted to go up for Uphellia as well
Oh,
because
yes.
in Largs we have the Viking Festival, which I think is
Okay.
a smaller scale version without as
Yeah.
much fire. So I'd
Indeed.
love to go up for that as well. But Shetland Wool Week has been on my bucket list for years.
Okay. Well, you need to get it done because it is amazing. And you meet so many people from all over the world, like hundreds and hundreds of people. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
No, I'll definitely need to get going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any final questions for Ailsa?
Can't see any here.
No.
It has been so lovely to have you with us, and to hear more about what you're doing. I love the experiences and opportunities that you're getting now out of the Game of Wool experience, but the SWI experience that your journey is beginning. So that's going to open lots of doors for you as well. So thank you very much for taking the time to join us this morning. And I'll pass back to Susie. And Susie, all the best with your triennium.
Thank you for having me.
Ailsa, thank you so much for that. That was really lovely to hear from you again. And thank you, Karen, for stepping in at the last minute there. That was lovely. I'm disappointed though, Karen, that you didn't take the opportunity to show Ailsa your waffle blanket and ask her opinion on whether it needs a border. Karen's one of her unfinished projects at the minute. Oh, there it is. There it is. But 9 projects on the go, Ailsa. You've made me feel so much better because I think I've got about 5 at the minute. So thank you. Thank you. You've reassured me.
You're welcome.
And I must say, and back up Eileen's question there, you have to get yourself to Shetland Wool Week. It's absolutely amazing. And when you do go, you have to go up to Oliberry and seek out Margaret Tulloch and the ladies of the SWI up at Oliberry who put on the most amazing display and tea and home bakes. So
Oliberry.
that's
I'll have to
Oliberry.
remember
That's my tip for Shetland Wool Week for you.
Thank you.
So thank you, Ailsa, thank you, Karen, and thank you all of you for coming along today. It's your input's been absolutely truly valued, and I would like to say a special thank you to the ladies of Murray and Nairn Federation who have set up a little watch party today. So it's their craft group day today. They do this once a month. And what they've done is they've live streamed the AGM. There we are. There's Murray and Nairn Federation. Give us a wave. So they've all been able to listen and be part of the AGM while carrying on with their own thing. I also know of 2 other members who are listening in and currently cleaning a holiday cottage. So there you go. There's no barriers to being part of our national AGM. I must as well thank Maz and Kath. We couldn't do this without you. You're always there to help us facilitate our online meetings when we've got so many people as this. And it's very much appreciated with the 2 of you giving up your time to help us. So thank you, guys.
Thanks, Susie. Thank you.
To Ailsa and to our last minute interviewer, Karen, thank you. It was just a lovely way to finish off the business and have a nice end to our morning. And finally, and I'm really going to try and get through this bit without crying again because you've got no idea how many hankies I've got beside me right now. Mary, thank you so much for everything you've done over the years, for all the guidance that you've given me, especially over the last few weeks as we've been building up to this. And I'm just amazed that you're trusting me to take over from you, but I promise I will do my best. To all the fellow trustees, our new and our finishing board members, it's been an absolute pleasure for the last 3 years, and I'm looking forward to the next 3. And to all our staff who sometimes get overlooked in Edinburgh, to you all, you do an amazing job, and it's lovely that you're able to join us this morning. And also lastly, but absolutely by no means least, to every single one of you members, thank you for everything that you do. And I'm looking forward to seeing as many of you as I possibly can over the next 3 years. And I hope you have a nice day wherever it is now, and you can go off and do something lovely for the afternoon. It's common riding here in Hoyk. The Cornet's horses have just gone down the brae. I've just watched them out the corner of my eye, and it looks like we've got a sunny day for it here. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you all again very soon. Thank you very much.